Hi guys, JT here, and today I'll be bringing you some information on the Fanatical bundle Build Your Own Platinum Collection bundle of November 2022. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? I'll run you through 7 games for your consideration. If you want to know more about game bundles, then feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps the channel out. So let's get into this. Choice number 1. The Darkside Detective, a modern pixel art point-and-click adventure game, peppered with comedy and parody. You play as Detective Francis McQueen, the lead investigator of the criminally underfunded Darkside Division. This special division investigates the outright bizarre, the downright dangerous, and the confusing cases of Twin Lakes. Think X-Files, but a comedic version. These cases usually involve cultists, demons, the occult, and any other cases that nobody else is willing to investigate. You're sent to these cases to try to figure out what on earth is going on. With you is Officer Patrick Dooley, your sidekick that needs a bit of help in the brains department. The story is broken into individual self-contained cases in town, with the likes of Malice in Wonderland, Toe Malone, among others. They're set up like a TV show, and they last about the length of a TV show. The writing of this game constantly references pop cultures and also breaking the fourth wall. Your assistant, Officer Dooley, is very likable in a sort of he's so dumb that it's charming kind of way. Being a point-and-click adventure game, this game is filled with puzzles to solve, and with some logical thinking, you should be able to solve it. You have to find the right items to solve these puzzles, and the main challenge is actually in finding these items. The puzzles will push you along the story and lets you focus on the writing. These items, together with the dialogue, are filled with some form of joke, and a lot of these are pretty clever. Sifting through the conversations will provide much needed clues to solve the next puzzle. If you're into a comedic supernatural detective style point-and-click game, then this is one to pick up. Choice number 2. The Darkside Detective, a Fumble in the Dark. The sequel to the 2017 point-and-click game, The Darkside Detective, at choice number 1. Following on from the events of the first game, and after some more mystery, blah blah blah, you once again play McQueen and his not-so-smart sidekick Dooley. You go on several more adventures across Ireland, a fun fair, and the Shifty Pines nursing home, among other destinations. This time around, the episodes aren't cases, but rather bizarre new situations that you and your partner run into by chance. There are 6 episodes to play through, and each episode is so strange and engrossing. They're all well written as per before, providing plenty of laughs, more fourth wall breaking, quite a few surprising twists, and many weird characters to meet along the way. This sequel world is much bigger than the first season, and will challenge you on inventory-based puzzles, with others mixed in, like a Pac-Man style hacking minigame where you need to safely guide a computer avatar around moving firewalls, and a puzzle requiring you to work out wire configurations to phone the dark side. The puzzles in this game are quite clever, and some require out-of-the-box thinking. The environments that you're put through are also varied, colorful, and entertaining to look at. The sequel to the 2017 game is as witty, funny, and you'll have so much fun solving mysteries and laughing along with the protagonists. The Darkside Detective, a Fumble in the Dark, is definitely a worthy sequel and one to pick up. Choice number 3. Wolfenstein, The New Order, an action-adventure first-person game set in an alternate history timeline. Set in the 1960s, the Nazis have won World War II with their superior technology, and most of Europe has been put under their control. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, a badass American soldier who has been admitted to a psychiatric asylum after a mission gone wrong, where you remain in a catatonic state. The asylum has been ordered to shut down by the Nazis, and after witnessing some atrocities on the people there, BJ awakens and he goes on a rampage to destroy the Nazi war machine and his nemesis, Wilhelm Strass, aka Death's Head. The story is actually pretty good, and it basically provides you a reason to shoot Nazis with varying mission objectives to keep things fresh. The alternate history storyline is really interesting, and being a badass bringing down the Nazis feels great. Characters that you meet are also really relatable, as they are just regular people oppressed by the regime wanting liberation. You can use a variety of weapons to kill these Nazis, and these ranges from handguns, assault rifles, shotguns, all the way to more interesting weapons like the Tesla grenade and the laser cutter. There are also some sections where you get to pilot mechs to destroy a Nazi encampment, and it's really fun sitting in a seat of a mech leveling everything around you. This game is great if you want to feel like a badass action hero in a film, murdering Nazis and bringing down their operations. Choice number 4. Adios, a cinematic first-person game. You play as a seasoned pig farmer with a secret. You've been allowing the mob to use your pigs to dispose of bodies. However, you want out and you attempt to cut all ties with them. The mob isn't too happy about that, so they send a former colleague of yours who is also a hitman to take care of you when the day is over. This game makes you empathize with the characters. You may not agree with their methods, but you'll come to understand why they are who they are. This game tackles some very heavy themes like suicide, loneliness, and grief. This game is basically a short film that you play through, and you can interact with the environment, giving the environment a real feel to it. You have some dialogue choices to make, but you're mostly here to watch and listen to the farmer and the hitman talk. As you are talking, the two of you will be doing random chores around the farm, like milking goats, shoveling manure, fixing a car, etc, etc. These conversations are captivating, and they're very well written and well voice acted. A fun fact is that the voice actor for the Hitman also voices Albert Wesker from Resident Evil. You'll come to really like both characters within the span of the hour that you play this game. This game tells a very deeply human story, and it will stick with you for a long time after the credits roll. So if you're into a narrative game with an excellent story, voice acting, and unique use of dialogue choices, then I would definitely recommend Adios. Choice number 5. Hypnospace Outlaw, a 90s internet simulator. In an alternate 1999, the internet is explored by strapping on a headband and browsing through the various pages. You play an enforcer, hired by the creators to find and report illicit online content in exchange for digital currency, Hypnocoins. To crack down on copyright, currency scammers, and bullies, you will scour through hundreds of web pages across Hypnospace, from ANSI page of Teentopia to custom e-cards of a devout Christian. After a tutorial, you are given access to your enforcer email, in which you will be sent different cases to investigate and all kinds of messages from other Hypnospace users. Once you know what crimes are being committed, you need to search some keywords and usernames to find the culprit. Cases given to you aren't always for the force of good. Like in your first task, you are sent to remove unofficial artworks of a cartoon character, which in turn force you to ban all the artwork drawn by children on a website dedicated to it. I mean, what did they do? They're just kids, you evil moderator, you. However, not all cases will drain your soul, with some cases having you take down a comic making fun of an overweight child. In order to find these culprits, you need to scour the pages of Hypnospace looking for unlisted pages and potential passwords. Pages and keywords will give you hints as to what to do, and the game doesn't hold your hand, so when you solve a case, boy does it feel great. You can get lost in its aesthetic, especially if you've been using the internet in the 90s. There are viruses that are sent via email, pop-up ads, and cheesy 90s style websites for you to browse through. You can use your Hypnocoins to buy unnecessary extras for your desktop, like a virtual hamster who will defecate all over your screen, and demand food that you have to buy with the same coins. Hypnospace is a game like nothing you've ever played, filled with 90s internet nostalgia. The puzzles and investigations are very satisfying when you finally find a solution, even though it can be nerve-wracking when you can't seem to solve this one particular case. It is definitely a game worth experiencing. Choice number 6. Mutazione, a point-and-click adventure game that fuses an extensive story with gardening. You play as Kai, a funny but shy teenage girl, as you visit your sick grandfather on the island Mutazione. As the name of the island suggests, this is where the human mutants live after the area was hit by a meteor. You might find yourself making conversations with a pile of jelly or a cat person as you explore your surroundings. The environment and character variety adds an extra layer of surreal to the game's tone. Your sickly grandfather cannot tend to his garden, so now you need to look after it for him. As to why the garden is so important to the island, your grandfather just evades the question entirely, but the townspeople just ask that you trust him. You will spend your time exploring the island and talking to the villagers or tending to your gardens. It isn't necessary to talk to every villager, but talking to them really builds the world and gives the overall story a unique character. You garden for yourself, but you'll soon find out that gardening leads you to developing intimate relationships with the islanders. As you garden and complete tasks for the locals, you demonstrate that you care about them and their home. Your garden isn't for commercial use, but you're doing it for the members of the community. Each garden positively impacts a townsperson that has an emotional connection to the site. The more plants and gardens that you grow, the better the spirits of the island's inhabitants will be. This is a game about being of service to a community and the reward from your act. Too often we may see tasks as just mere tasks, but what we do may positively impact the people around you, and the more you do it, the better your community will become, creating an overall more harmonious world, like the island of Mutazione. Choice number 7. Beach Buggy Racing 2 Island Adventure, a racing kart game that will remind you of the likes of Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing. Like the racing kart games mentioned, you basically accelerate, steer, brake, and deploy power-ups. Each character has a unique driver ability that you can use a few times during each race, and you can hold up to 2 power-ups at any given time and deploy them, adding a layer of strategy to the gameplay. There are a ton of power-ups for you to unleash upon your opponents, like you can trap your opponent in a hamster ball, replace their tires with donuts, unleash a swarm of angry birds, spawn chickens on their windshields so they're unable to clearly see ahead, among others. It is a fun-filled formula that can actually be quite challenging to master. This game has a ton of content with 14 characters to choose from, each of their own abilities, 40 vehicles to unlock and drive, ranging from little cars to monster trucks and lunar rovers, and 23 unique tracks to race through, like an erupting volcano, on glaciers, through a desert, underwater, alien planets, and so forth. Each track is also well crafted with many twists, turns, hazards, and tricky segments, not forgetting the secrets they can find on each map. There's a campaign that you can play through in a non-linear fashion where you go through nodes on the map. choosing different races to compete on. Outside of the campaign, you can compete in multi-event championships, challenge time tournaments, or play single events like races, time trials, survival last car standing, and a few neat variations. You can also customize each vehicle from looks to tuning them to the way you like them, giving you the opportunity to sort of have your own unique car. If you enjoy light-hearted racing games, then you'll definitely enjoy this, especially if you have friends to play this game with. And those are my recommendations for games in the Build Your Own Platinum collection of November 2022. I think this month's Platinum bundle is actually pretty good, with some great indie titles. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.